Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. Evo Japan is right around the corner. In fact, it begins next week. Begins Friday, May the 9th and runs throughout the weekend. And to be assured, there's going to be a lot of great matches, a lot of world-class play across a wide variety of games. But also, Evo being Evo, it's also, as much as it is a big tournament, it is also a bit of a marketing event. And as such, we may be seeing some things from both currently released games and also unreleased games on site at the event. And I figured it'd be a fun thing to do just to talk about what we know for sure and also things that might be on site that we can expect. So I'll speak on one right now because it's of great personal interest to me, and that is the new Virtua Fighter game. And after all these years, it still gives me great pleasure to talk about it as a thing that's real, that actually exists. And one of the things at Evo Japan is that Virtua Fighter 5 Revo has a presence there. The classic Beat Tribe Cup series is part of Evo officially, and if Virtua Fighter's there in an official capacity, you would think maybe it's time, right? The new Virtua Fighter was announced late last year after a very long time of dormancy, and well, since then it's also been dormant itself. We had that weird little cute NVIDIA presentation shortly thereafter, and if you're seeing this for the first time, no, this is not actual gameplay. This is just motion capped proof of concept kind of stuff. But other than that, we haven't really seen anything. We only have the most brief snippet of gameplay and the most brief idea of what's going on. But that's recently changed. Enter Richiro Yamada, who is the producer and just one of the main overall leads at RGG Studios, who is making the new Virtua Fighter title. And they have been pretty active on Twitter lately, and maybe giving a bit more answers to some questions than you might think. Like talking about guest characters. Could potentially Sega guest characters from other franchises be in the new Virtua Fighter, right? And well, they're saying, well, Virtua Fighter will have its own unique flavor. Another person asking, since RGG Studio is making the new Virtua Fighter, will we find any crossover with the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series? And that it says, can't say anything, stay tuned. And for my own money, personally, like I feel that one's a given. Maybe we won't exactly have like Sonic crossovers. We won't see Shadow as a playable character. But will we see like Ichiban or Kiryu? That I think is a lot more likely. But for the purview of this video, Richiro let this one slip. We have someone asking, should we stay tuned for more info at Evo Japan next week? And this response here kind of says it all to me, you know, a little, ooh, can't say anything, little emoji, right? Considering, once again, Virtua Fighter is a pretty large part of the overall Evo Japan presentation with the Beat Tribe Cup being there officially, I think it's about time. It was either going to be here or Summer Game Fest, which is also right around the corner next month as well. And it looks like it's going to be here. And frankly, a very good place to do it, for sure. So as for particulars, we don't have that, but who knows? Maybe we'll see real gameplay. Like, this is the only actual gameplay that was ever shown. This quick little snippet, and it's great, but we definitely need to see more than this. So more proper gameplay, maybe a match, maybe just a few more characters shown. That would all be fantastic. It's been over 4 months since the initial reveal of the new Virtua Fighter game, so it's about time to, get the wheels turning on the marketing engine. So while no guarantee, it certainly now, I would think, seems somewhat likely, but then of course there's a lot more other games, a lot more other things to talk about at Evo Japan. Some of it's quite obvious. For Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Andy Bogard will be playable on site. And I know like the game just came out and the first DLC character's already sort of ready to go, right? But they got a big content pipeline for the game coming, so sure, okay, our first DLC character will be playable on site at a booth. And if Andy's going to be out and out playable, you gotta assume a trailer would drop there or right beforehand as well. And then we also have another SNK stalwart, I guess you would say. So Mr. Salvatore Ganacci, I accidentally did a journalism and found out he might be on site at Evo Japan. Cause it turns out he's in Japan during the Evo Japan weekend. If they got the marketing money to put him on front and center stage at WrestleMania of all things, I feel like he'll be at Evo Japan considering he's already literally in Japan for the weekend. Can't say for sure, but just feels like a safe bet. So that's the SNK front. What about Capcom? So Capcom, it's not much of a mystery. Elena is our next DLC character. We already know she comes out June the 5th. We already got the gameplay trailer, so nothing new is going to happen on that specific front. And it is confirmed she will be playable on site at Evo Japan. The only potential issue with that is we also know that the Mega Season 3 balance patch is also coming with the Elena DLC. It's day and date, right? And to help people not figure out changes, the playable build will only have Elena as a playable character. So basically, don't play the build expecting to see what Season 3 changes exist for Chun-Li, because you're not going to get it. So basically, she's playable on site. We'll get a lot of gameplay from on site, see a lot of how she works. That's great. But for Street Fighter as a whole, I don't expect anything except maybe a patch trailer for the patch itself. It's explicitly mentioned by Capcom properly that on top of the patch changes for the characters, all the balance changes, there will also be system changes. So a potential trailer shown at Evo Japan showcasing balance changes and system changes, that would be pretty hype. Certainly no guarantee though. At minimum, just expect a lot of Elena gameplay and footage. And that is cool in and of itself. But as far as Street Fighter goes, I don't think we'll get much more than that. So besides that, what else do we feel are sure bets at Evo Japan? Well, Guilty Gear is a major part of the tournament this year. And in case you forgot, Guilty Gear's got some stuff going on. The new anime not too long ago finally started airing. Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers, kind of going over the plot of the game, directly following the main plot of the Guilty Gear Strive storyline. And a big part of Dual Rulers is it introduces an all-new character to the universe, that being Unica. And in a little bit of what we call co-marketing branding synergy, Unica is also your newest DLC character in Guilty Gear Strive. And this hit me like a truck because I completely forgot about this with everything else going on right now. Yo, Unica comes out this month, not next month, this month. So where else other than Evo Japan would you debut that trailer for the character, really? Feels like a fairly safe bet to me. You run the trailer, cool, the character will be whatever the character will be, who knows for now, and then out in a couple days, go from there. And there's still Lucy to worry about too, but that's later. We'll get there when we get there. And maybe after Lucy, Evo Las Vegas is happening, and maybe it's about time for ArcSys to announce their new game, because they've been working on something. I've been hearing some rumors, I can't say if they're true or not, but if they're approaching true, people will be very interested. We'll wait and see on that one. We'll wait and see. For other games like, say, Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising, we've already had the teaser trailer for Galleon launching sometime in spring. But just that, it's a teaser trailer. It's not a full gameplay trailer. The model looks really good, I guess. And yes, we will have the full proper reveal at Evo Japan. Granblue is one of the official games at Evo Japan 2025, so it makes a lot of sense for the new character to debut there. Also, they're going to have a booth on site if you need to buy any specific Granblue versus Rising water bottles. And the next character is in sometime summer 2025, so maybe we'll get a sneak peek there, but who knows. And then, of course, what about Tekken 8? Tekken 8 is not been having the best time lately. I know, bit of an understatement, right? People don't like Season 2, and the numbers reflect that pretty well. We got some numbers here for registration from the fine folks over at Event Hubs. And last year, Tekken had over 1,000 people, and obviously Street Fighter, Japan's very famously in love with Street Fighter, had quite a bit, right? And this year, Street Fighter, those numbers are growing significantly, but Tekken, those numbers are shrinking. Now, of course, when a game's not as new, the luster, the shine wears off a little bit. That's always a thing. But Street Fighter is an older game than Tekken is, and it's growing big time. And Tekken, well, especially with the recent publicity, not so much. So what Tekken could definitely use right now is a win. And our next character, which is a returning character from the franchise, so an already existing character, will be out sometime nebulously in summer. That could be August for all we know. But Bandai Namco also likes putting out trailers way early. So we might get that next trailer earlier than we thought, and it might be here at Evo Japan. And given that Anna was the character that opened up the season, it was her and Armor King that were routinely asked for as returning characters. So if Armor King is the next returning character, I think people would be pretty happy. That'd be some goodwill. Compared to, say, other potential returning characters that might dig the hole deeper than you're already in right now. So maybe go for the winners, We'll see, I guess. It's going to be very interesting in the next few months to see how Tekken 8 pivots, given the disastrous launch of Season 2. And of course, there's probably going to be a surprise or two, things we can't account for. We'll just never know till it just is thrown in front of us and we're all excited and we're all happy. And everyone loves that. But that all said, my friends, that's where we're kind of going. So some of this is admittedly my speculation, although with some stuff to back it up. And some of this is just absolutely happening. So keep your eyes open. And naturally, come the time, all the cool stuff that's going on, I'll be covering it in depth on the channel. So stay tuned. But that said now, my friends, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.